So over the years, I have had the opportunity to train thousands of children in the Tampa Bay area. And one of the greatest things that we know about the martial arts is that martial arts is so powerful at helping children to develop their mental and intellectual or their physical, powers, so to speak, through the rigorous training of a traditional martial arts program like the one that we teach here that in an age appropriate manner at Sidekicks Family Martial Arts Centers. And so, one of the things, though, that I really want to kind of focus on is I really want to talk about how martial arts helps children to develop their intellectual courage. All right. And so, one of the things that we help children to do in developing their intellectual courage is by cultivating confidence to take risks and chances, not just in the martial arts environment, but as well as in. So the ability for students to develop that intellectual courage is a key distinction. Learning for us always goes beyond the classroom. And we want to help students, even if kids are attending school virtually this year, or if they are going back to brick and mortar at some point, we want to help children, develop their, modify the way that they do things so that they continue to push their intellectual courage to the next level out of whatever the norm of school is this year. It's enrichment activities like martial arts that help them continue, this educational process. So for us, especially during, what we've seen over the last couple of months of, the Corona mess, like we like to call it sometimes, is that people who have been training in our martial arts have been much better adept at going through the entire process of, whatever comes with the quarantine or the social distancing or adapting to whatever the next thing, so to speak, is because they've had that steady ability to push their intellectual courage through their martial arts training with us here at Sidekicks. And so, one of the ways that we help children and even adults develop their intellectual courage is through the process of what we call public performance. And so, performing under pressure or in front of an audience may be one of the best ways to overcome shyness and gain confidence in your own ability or in your child's abilities. We're we're recalling information when it is needed, and that is the ability for them to, helping them to develop that intellectual courage. So one of the ways that we do it through our martial arts classes is by teaching simple sequences and then watching the students perform it with proficiency. So this is just one part of the ways that we implement, and help students develop their intellectual courage in every single class. So this translates to, like the ability to develop your intellectual courage through the process of, performing with proficiency during class translates, directly into the classroom and the educational trouble here, guys. It develops directly into the educational environment, specifically by helping them to give better presentations and exercise that muscle more. Like if you recall back as a parent, like when you were in school, and how many classroom presentations did you really give? Maybe a couple of times a month you would have to stand in front of the classroom, give a presentation, and do that. So that muscle sometimes, because of the distance between times, and as we got older, we would give less presentations in front of the group, because it became more lecture style environment and less more experiential environment as we got older. We would have a little, less time that we would do that. So the distance between that muscle didn't really strengthen for a lot of people. Well, one of the great things in our martial arts classes is that they learn and they perform in every single class. So with if someone was going to the gym and being able to, exercise a muscle every week at the gym. One of the you never skip leg day at the gym, so we're not going to skip developing our intellectual courage day when we come to class as sidekicks. And one of the great things that we like to do with that is we create different aspects in our program to help kids develop their intellectual courage beyond just the performance factor. So we create a methodology, a mindset to help them do it. And so this is one of the ways that you can help your own child to develop their intellectual courage, not just when they come to martial arts class with us. And by the way, if you are not a part of our program, I mean, there is a link right here on the screen to find out more about our program. But one of the mantras or one of the mind-setting phrases that we use, because we're all about how we talk to ourselves, is I can always do better than I think I can. And so one of the things we talk about with our students is that we just want to get started. We want to just get going because we're probably going to perform better than we think we are. So a lot of times, and this is that little voice that's inside our brain, a lot of times we end up with that tells us I can't do something, or I can't do this, or I'm going to be no good. By doing better than they think they are. So more often than not, they do better than they think they're going to do. It's just having that intellectual courage to take a chance, to try, that we're really helping them with. So one of the things we like to say with our students is I can always do better than I think I can. Learning this lesson through the use of a front kick or a side kick, is ideal because there are, step-by-step mechanics of doing this technique right. And then when you do it, you kind of get feedback immediately. You know whether it was strong, it was fast, you had balance, and then we can kind of go through each step of the kick to be able to get better and better over time. Sometimes when improve can you do this faster? Could you kick this stronger? Could you do it this way? And the same thing goes with their intellectual work at school. Could you perform your handwriting drill a little bit better, or a little bit faster, or a little bit neater? All of that is a big part of it. And so we love it when we are going through the process of helping our students, because they see, hey, you know what, firsthand over time, is that I always do better than I think I'm going to do. And so if they learn that lesson, I'm always going to be able to do better than I think I can, then they're going to be more apt to take that first step forward to try. And ultimately, that's the way that they're going to learn how to succeed, is by trying, sometimes failing forward, getting that feedback, not being discouraged when they try and when they maybe don't meet the mark that they're looking for. And then you also want to help them you're going to help your student by setting, learning realistic feedback. So if they don't perform like an NFL player the first game that they go play, tackle football or flag football, you're going to help them by developing. I'm not there yet. I'm still working. I'm still getting better. I made improvement. I tried the first time and I know where I'm at. I know what I can do to get better. Maybe I can run faster. All of those are a big factor in helping your students develop intellectual courage. The great thing in a program like the way we do it at Sidekicks is we create a framework to help students succeed and fail and, make mistakes in an environment where others are not going. Truthfully, if you think about how many people out there are afraid of things like being judged in public speaking situations, you understand that is a major factor, is kind of how you think others are going to perceive you. So that would be a reason why not to try. So great thing about the way that you can create an environment in your home that making mistakes, as long as you try, as long as you give your best effort and learn from those mistakes, in the same way that we do in our environment here at the martial arts program at Sidekicks, you will help your child develop their intellectual courage. And the students that develop their intellectual courage are the students that do the best overall in life and have that life satisfaction. So success defined as however your family is going to be benefited by the ability to succeed through trial, error, and having the intellectual courage to go, to ask, to try, to do. As always, thank you so much for your time with us here at Sidekicks. And if there's anything that we can do, let us know. If you're interested in martial arts in our program, learning more about that, you can go right to our website at right here at ilovesidekicks.com, and we learn all about our specials and stuff. So guys, have a great day. Can't wait to see you guys on the mat.